I was that PS5 fanboy that would be like,
but Sony has all the games and it's better than the Xbox.
You know, typical, fanboy type stuff. So I said to myself, you know what? I want to branch outside of my comfort zone a bit, and I want to put the PS5 controller down a little bit for 1 month and really give the Xbox Series S a chance and see if all of the hype is real. And in this video here, I'm going to be sharing my experience with coming from the PS5 to the Xbox Series S, and I'll let you guys be the judge on if I'm tripping or not in this video. Just, don't beat me up too bad in the comments. So the first thing I have to mention, and that is the most noticeable thing, and that is the size difference. Now, the size of the Xbox Series S is the wave in comparison, and especially when you consider how big the PS5 is. I'm still tight after 2 years of having a PS5 with them making it that big. Like, did y'all really have to make it that big? Anyway, this size here allowed for it to fit perfectly within my entertainment center that's right here behind me next to the PS5. And before you guys say it,
you can't put the PS5 up against the Xbox Series S.
Well, actually you can, because guess what? I'm doing it. Yeah, I know, y'all. The Xbox Series S doesn't allow for 4K 120 gaming like the PS5, but it does allow for 1440p at 120, which to me, if you have a solid monitor or TV and you're not really pixel peeping, or you have them side by side, you really won't even notice the difference, and you're still gonna get a solid gaming experience. And that's coming from a person who prefers visuals over performance. So still being able to get 120 on the Xbox Series S, which they could have just reserved that for the Series X model, was a W for me, even though I'm only getting 1440p. Then again, Xbox has been allowed that from jump. It was PS5 that was, kind of late to that 120 party. Hey, PS5 gang, don't come for me in the comments. I'm just stating facts are the facts. You're probably like, yo, how has the gaming experience been? Because let's be real, right? This is what it's all about. And frankly, probably the reason why you even came here in the first place. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Switching from the PS5 to the Xbox Series S for a full month has been low-key kind of dope. I can't front, and here are the 3 reasons why. Make sure y'all listening up. Number 3 is the software. At first, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a couple days to kind of figure everything out and kind of get used to the menu layout and how to access the settings, switching to different games, volume and chat controls, all of that, right? But once I actually figured everything out and how to actually navigate it, I felt like it was pretty smooth. That's not to downplay Sony's menu at all, because I do think their menu is actually pretty good too in terms of software. But if I had to choose like one over the other, I'm probably gonna go with the Xbox menu more, because it just seems a little bit more familiar. All right, so the number 2 thing that was dope to me, and that was using Xbox Party Chat for the first time, y'all. When I tell you, this right here is the most underrated, goated feature if you are coming from a PS5, and let me tell you why. Now, if you guys have ever used Discord voice chat, then you already know that audio quality is crispy. Now, imagine if you bring that audio quality over to be native to the system as well as the software, and that's what Xbox did, and that's what Xbox Party Chat is. During my time, y'all, with this system for the month that I had it, when me and my guys would actually boot up for COD, we never had to rely on Call of Duty's in-game audio, because if you guys know, then you already know COD like audio, in-game audio is pretty bad, especially in comparison to something like Xbox Party Chat. I'm telling you, it's not even close. Being able to switch to it was simple too. All they had to do was just hold down the Xbox button here on the controller, accept the invite. Even if that player is on PC, they still had access to Xbox Party Chat, which is just another W in the book for, Xbox Party Chat. Yo, it's lit. And the number 1 thing that was the icing on the cake for me and legit has me rethinking the whole PS5 experience in general is Game Pass. Look, at first I had heard about Game Pass, but I never really experienced it before until this past month, right? And let me tell you, y'all, it is dope. So if you don't know what Game Pass is, it's a subscription-based service where you get to pay to have access to a whole dope library of games. Think like Netflix, but for games. So when I first got it, right, the first thing I did, I was like, you know what, let me just kind of go through it and just really see if it's really good, like people be hyping it up to be. Then I started seeing games in there, like the new Madden was in there. I started seeing 2K in there, FIFA was in there, and I'm like, okay, there might be something here. Then I started seeing GoldenEye, which is a Nintendo 64 classic. For those that know, then you know, the Golden Gun is Come on, y'all. There ain't a gun in Call of Duty right now that can mess with that golden gun. Now, if they was to get Donkey Kong on there, hey, then we talk. Just being able to browse through there and discover games to me was the wave, especially since you don't have to pay like anything extra for it. Like I found this whole tennis game here called Match Point that I like, and I've been playing that, y'all, every single day since I got it. And since I don't have to pay extra for it, I was like, you know what? I'll try it out. Then, you know, if I don't like it, I'll just delete it and find something else. And I'm thinking about doing like a whole series here where like I'm gonna be showing you guys like the top games for the Game Pass for the month. So if y'all want to see a video like that, just let me know down in the comments and I'll put something together for y'all. Plus another thing they do with that is they keep the library updated. Like for example, I'm waiting on that MLB The Show 23 to drop on there, which I know y'all, I'm gonna be all over that. Then on top of that, if you guys are on PC, which I will be building out my first game in PC here ever on the channel, and I'm gonna be showing you guys my full experience with that as a version PC builder and showing you all the good, the bad, all of the mistakes and anything, as well as something that might help you guys for you be able to create one for yourself. So that video will be dropping here on the channel here pretty soon, so make sure y'all are sub to the channel for that. And also y'all join my group text squad called Room 21, man, where I send out all of my new video notifications and also new raps, and you can check out more of those on my TikTok, so make sure y'all follow that. Frank Lucas all white with that alpaca, blotted down, standing strong like a male alpha, cause with controllers I'm fitting, saying it feels right. 120 FPS is smooth up in my CKid fight. And there's more on my TikTok, so make sure y'all go ahead and follow that. But to get in on the group text, all you gotta do is just text Room 21 to the number that's right here on the screen all together, and you in there like swimwear. And if you went ahead and joined, man, go ahead and comment down below hashtag Room 21 in the comments, and I'll show y'all some love back. But the reason that I mentioned about the PC is because it's all Microsoft, right? So that means you get access to all of the Game Pass games right from your PC, and it crosses over. Now, I haven't actually tried and had the experience using Game Pass on my PC just yet because I haven't built it yet, but once I get it all fully set up, man, I'll definitely be showing that here on the channel. But in short, man, I felt like Game Pass was dope in itself, and it's a cool way to be able to try out a bunch of games without having to like keep digging into your pockets or your wallet, because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, these games ain't cheap. If I'm being honest, I gotta be fair and let you guys know that everything ain't sunshine and rainbows on the Xbox side of the world either that I personally experienced. Now, there are three main things that I've experienced, and one of them was more regular than the others. Now, again, let's start at number 3, and we're gonna work our way down to the number 1 thing that I think that Xbox needs to improve on. Now, the number 3 thing is sometimes I would turn on the system and I would try to click on a game that I wanted to play, and it would be just unresponsive and will not go into the game. Now, I would try several times and nothing would happen, right? I would just be clicking on the game, nothing would happen. Now, at first I was like, maybe something's up with my internet connection, because there's a lot of stuff that kind of loads on the screen, or maybe it's my HDMI cable or something. But I have like crazy fast gigabit Ethernet speeds here, and I'm using the HDMI cable that came with the system. So I was like, it can't be none of that. Now, in order to get this to work, I would have to restart the entire console, and then from there, it would just be responsive again, and then I can go into the games like normal and play it. Now, I will say, sometimes this was frustrating because I've never experienced this on my PS5 over the 2 years that I've had that system. Now, it doesn't happen all the time on the Xbox Series S, but if I had to put a number on it, I would say probably 2 out of every 10 boot ups I've experienced this, which is 20%, which is not bad, but it still is something that I wanted to mention. I call it like the modern day version of, remember back in the day when you had to blow into the Nintendo cartridges and then you would hope they work when you press that power button, Maybe I'm dating myself, but if you know, you know. Now, the number 2 thing that I experienced, and I'm curious if you guys have too, and that goes with like hand in hand with number 3, and it's sometimes the audio on the system will not work when I boot up the system as well and I load up a game. For example, I'll jump into like my Ninja Turtles game on here, and for some reason, it won't have any audio playing. So I'll have to, again, close out the whole app, close and restart the whole system, and then it booted everything back up and it'll work again. Now, I will say this is not the end of the world because I've only experienced this a couple times, but it is something that, I wanted to point out as, that's my experience with the console. Now, the number 1 thing, which is something that I just need Microsoft and the good people over at Xbox, because I love y'all, man, but Y'all can't change my mind on this, y'all, and I gotta call a spade, and y'all have to get rid of the physical AA battery. Let me open this. The AA batteries on this controller. Now, I will say, if you gaming about, I don't know, let's say like 4 to 6 hours, per night, it can actually last you a good, like, solid, I'll say about a week and a half before you actually need to replace these batteries, which to me, I thought was actually pretty good, considering the fact that the new PS5 controller here, this DualSense Pro controller right here that I just spent $200 on, only lasts about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours on a single charge. But at least I can just put that right there on a charger and recharge it. But the first time that I had this controller and it died on me mid-game was when I was like, you know what? I can't believe this. It is 2023. I have to physically get up, find a AA batteries in the house somewhere and replace these batteries in my gaming controller. Like, I just felt like it just gave it like a dated vibe on a next gen console to me. I think the next console that they release should only deal with lithium rechargeable batteries in their entire controller lineup, no matter if it's the one that's included with the system. Now, I will say this, if that was a ploy for y'all to get people to buy the Elite controller, then hey, I get it. By all means, go get your money. I mean, who am I to judge? Y'all did sell millions of these units, so hey, go do you. Salute. Now, on the flip side of that, they do have an Xbox Elite controller that people that I've complained to about this controller here keeps telling me that I need to go ahead and try it out. So hopefully, Xbox, if you're listening, let's link up, man. Let's do something. I got some ideas brewing in my mind that I want to share with y'all, that we can do on that video. So, let's make that happen. Now, all the things that I just mentioned to you guys, deal breakers, no, I don't think actually any of those are actual deal breakers, as all systems are not perfect. They all have their own issues in their own right, but I just wanted to share my personal experience when it came to using this controller right here for a whole full month. And honestly, y'all, number 2 and number 3, I feel like that can easily be fixed with like future system updates. So I'm not too worried about that at all, because believe me, the PlayStation, hey, it's got its issues too. 2 more things that I want to talk about before we get into my final thoughts, and that is actual gameplay experience, as well as switching using an Xbox controller over a PS5 controller, because you already know controllers can make or break a gaming experience. So let's go ahead and start off with the controller, and then we're gonna go to the other thing. Now, I have to be fair with this one. The PS5 controller, y'all, it is a much better controller from my personal experience over the Xbox Series S. Now, that's not to say that this controller here is a bad controller. It's just some small tweaks that I would prefer to make on it if I could. Now, the first tweak that I would make is I need y'all to move this joystick right here, this left joystick, down to where the D-pad is, and the D-pad up here where this joystick is. Because I felt like when I was playing it, it just felt awkward playing COD when the joysticks are just not evenly placed like they are on my PS5 here controller. Now, that could have actually been the fact that I've been accustomed to using that controller over the past years, but I just didn't feel, it just didn't feel natural to me. And the second thing that I would actually add to this controller is some sort of trackpad like the PS5 controller has, because when I'm playing competitive games like COD, it's dope that I can just use that huge trackpad as a button to be able to open up the map, versus on this controller right here, I have to tap and try to find this tiny little button here to be able to do that. I just felt like having something like a trackpad would give developers more ways to improve the gaming experience through the Xbox controller like PlayStation has. And if I'm being honest, another thing that I missed is adaptive triggers from my PlayStation controller, because that feature, y'all, is goated to me. So to me, y'all, I still rock with the PS5 controller over the Xbox controller. But again, it's not a deal breaker, but it's just my personal preference. Last thing I want to talk about is the overall gameplay. Now, this has been smooth and I didn't have any hiccups at all. Now, although it's 1440p versus 4K, and unless you got a X or a Series S or a PS5 side by side, you won't even really notice a difference. And I'm just being honest with you guys as a person who've used both systems. Now, I do want to preface that with I do game on an LG OLED C2 monitor, which I can't wait to get that C3 in-house here, because I pre-ordered that. So definitely make sure you guys are subscribe to the channel for that, because I can't wait to game on that thing. But the Xbox Series S gaming quality, to me, it just looks good on it. It's super clean, especially when you're running games like Forza on it, man. I'm telling y'all, It's butter. And honestly, because of that, I mean, at a $300 price tag, this makes this whole system here a complete easy selling point and just an easy recommendation for people who are wanting to get into the next gen gaming system without really breaking down your wallet or breaking the bank, versus something like the PS5 or the Xbox Series X being right at a $500 price tag. I feel like the Xbox Series S is the best value for dollar that you can get on the market today when it comes to next gen gaming. So here are my final thoughts about if I've decided to fully switch over to the Xbox side of the world over something like the PS5. I can't lie, y'all, Xbox made it tough for me for sure, because the honest truth is I haven't even thought about my PS5 or turned it on since I got the Xbox Series S in house. And to me, that says a lot. But although I enjoyed the Xbox experience, Sony still has my heart, y'all, when it comes to that. And mainly that's due to the controller and some of my top games that I like to play, like God of War, Uncharted, Ghost of Tsushima, and just other AAA titles that PlayStation has. And maybe one day the gaming world can slowly bridge that gap and not make games so exclusively to certain consoles, because I hate that. But since that day is not here, then, you know, it is what it is. Xbox, I just feel like you just got to get rid of the batteries in this controller, man, because, you know, that ain't the way. Honestly, y'all, software-wise, Xbox, I feel like, is winning in this category to me. Game Pass is just so lit and goated, and it saves me money. But I will say, I would like to see Microsoft and Xbox collaborate a little bit more with other top gaming studios to kind of, you know, make that a part of Game Pass too. But I do think what they've already built with Game Pass is so freaking goated, like it ain't even funny. I mean, think about it. It's like a kid with infinite amount of money going into a candy store. That's how I felt like when I'm scrolling through Game Pass. Pricing's on point with the Xbox at $300. The size of it is another thing that's goated to me, because it can fit anywhere within my console. And the last thing, the 1440p 120 still gives me a lot of the quality and smooth gameplay that I need. But me preferring 4K, that's honestly just me being just the quality tech snob that I am, wanting the top of the top, but it's not necessary, y'all. But to wrap it up, man, I felt like the Xbox has definitely earned a place in my gaming setup, and it is here to stay for sure. Next thing, I plan on somehow getting my hands on the Xbox Series X and getting that here in house, as well as my gaming PC that I built. That way I can experience what both of those have to offer, coming from a console gamer to a PC gamer, and just kind of seeing how that goes, and, you know, putting that video out here on the channel as well. You know, I'm just trying to dabble into different worlds that I'm interested in, and if you guys rock with that content, then make sure you guys click on that like button and hit that subscribe button and join the squad, because we're on our way to 100K, man. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one, squad.